If you can't come up with ideas, start looking at inspiration, aka start stealing from other people and then creating your own version of that. Hi there. My name is Josh Moxey, and today it is September 23rd, 2018. Time is 3:05 p.m. and it's time for some reflections. Let's get into it. Writing and rewriting the NIMSAM real estate pitch. I am not good at writing pitches. I get way too attached to the words I'm saying, and the words are not that important. It's actually more so the intention behind the words that is the underlying key factor there. But so it's context over content. And yeah, it was writing this, I felt I grew a lot, and I did a decent job of just like almost detaching from the result of the sale or whatever. I don't even like the word pitch so much as it feels like more of an explanation. And if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, that is okay too. Okay. So there's a lot of a detachment around this, because for me, I think this is the best way to go about sales and marketing, is just detachment. I also created a what is non-material source energy medicine explanation, and that was a little bit tricky as well. But again, the resistance for me is trying to convince people. I don't really care for convincing people to my way of thinking, mostly because like I just feel it's a bad ROI, considering that most people aren't going to agree with most of the stuff I believe in. So I think this is from like high school or whatever, where I just kind of learned to like not really care that much what people believe, or if they believe what I believe. Or that was the start of it, at least, because I just got such resistance from trying to convince people to my way of thinking, and it's just fucking pointless. Like, I don't give a fuck if you think the way, like, I do and I don't. So like yes, what I love, people to improve their mindset and their beliefs so they can become more limitless and more unstoppable and dominate their goals and feel as yes, I do. Okay. But at the same time, it's their fucking journey. If they want to do whatever the fuck they're going to do, go for it. Like, it's not my place to sit here and try to convince you. I will offer suggestions, but it's up to you if you choose to take those or not. I really liked working on the actions UI of lists. So when, yeah, this is coming up again. I love lists. I just cannot say the fucking word. It's so hard with the S at the end. But with the actions UI, I had a lot of challenge around what it could look like. But like, thanks to sketching, man, got it all done. And not all done. There's still more stuff to do, but I just love the way it is. I'm glad how it's come out, and I was having resistance with it, but it's good. It's working. So I'm happy about it. And by the way, when I say actions, I'm talking about like edit card or close card pop-up or whatever. And it's like in the corners of the top. So we'll see how this all comes out when it's live, but I'm liking it so far. Within actions, it was also cool to work on little things like making the UI on desktop different than the UI on mobile or iPad or tablet is what I mean. So just like the way the mouse versus the touch works, I like to do different things, and I've never actually given myself the opportunity to. So it's cool that I can finally work on stuff like touching the screen, and like the UI changes kind of like, and how you can touch the screen on photos or any other app, and like sometimes the UI will like disappear and then it'll come back when you retouch it. Stuff like that. It's cool because I can quickly just run a function that's like is mobile or is not mobile, and then it'll output something, which is great to make it really easy on me. I started work on a website for my Nana, actually. So I'm doing some contract work there on Shopify, and that felt cool to just make some extra cash like that. Oh, fucking, this is not a win. This is awesome. But I loved Loved Jaws. Best set I've seen from him without a doubt. It was so fucking good. He opened with like 30 minutes of dubstep, then he went into his classics, then he went into a little bit of house, and then a shit ton more dubstep, and then some vibe. Oh wait, before dubstep, there was album. He played a lot of his album, and then a lot of dubstep, and then he closed out with some vibier stuffs, and it was fucking phenomenal. Loved it. Loved the people I was with. It was just such a fucking blast. Enjoyed the hell out of it. Thank you, Father Sam. That's Jaws, by the way. I like changing my songs up for workouts. I have had the same couple songs that I've been using consistently for specifically incline bench press and for weighted chin ups. And I just started changing the weighted chin up song. I'm probably going to change the incline bench press song too. But I got like a good month maybe plus of each. So it was Gentleman's Club remix of Lights Go Down for weighted chins and Zomboy's Rebel Bass. So just filth. Loved it. Not debating over DM or going back and forth. It's so exhausting. Like, I realized, I'm like, fuck, I actually get really mad over text, which I just do not in person if I'm talking about a situation that's like, makes me, or that I'm super passionate about. I'm very inclined to get really pissy when I'm DMing someone over it versus talking to them face to face. I have a lot more empathy in real life. I am much more kind. I can come across as much more sassy over a DM. It's a lot better in real life, and it's such a fucking waste of time to debate shit over a DM. Also included in that is like, I just have zero desire to just sit there and try to sell someone on my opinion. Like, you either fucking agree with me or you don't, and then let's move on. Like, it's just such a waste of time. Thinking more purposefully. That includes visualizations, affirmations, and just like overall like thought looping. And I have ways to go in this respect. I have not done a good job of purposefully visualizing, or like basically just the things I just said, have not done a good job recently of these things. I want to make it a habit to like think more purposefully. It's especially tough because when I'm being creative, it's hard to think in that manner because I'm fully engrossed in the challenge at hand or the whatever I'm trying to do in that moment. So it's hard to like thought loop, for example, if you're doing that, because you're so engrossed in what you're doing that it's a lot of extra work to be trying to think at the same time about an affirmation or whatever. So, but I would love to get better at that because it's so paramount in life. So apparently it isn't a bad thing that I am not, I like when I started Greek God, I was around 170. I'm still 170. And I was questioning myself the other day. I'm like, fuck, am I like, what is going on? Why am I not gaining weight type of thing? And apparently it's just like the ideal result is what I'm getting right now, which is cutting fat and gaining muscle at the same time. And it's like, it's showing. My physique is definitely improving. So I'm glad with how that's going. And I appreciate the support, Andre, for reminding me of this truth, because I can sometimes forget. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why am I not going up in weight? But I'm also cutting a lot of fat. You can see it, especially on my abs, as time goes on. I learned that I want to get better hard data on my opinions. Like, I have so many controversial, unconventional beliefs and opinions, and I don't have the hard data to back them up because I haven't done a good job of like actually taking the time to. I'm much just more interested in like the source that is telling me this and like their credibility. So I've got to do a better job of, if I want to like actually, or if I want to have a greater impact on people's lives by influencing them in some capacity, I think I have to do a better job of understanding the hard data behind my points and being able to articulate them properly. That is me, like in the sense that I'll be able to influence people at a higher rate and therefore help them have more change, help them have greater result, etc. Whatever the end goal is there. Thinking about the lack tires me out the most. This is so fucking accurate, it's not even funny. When I'm feeling like tired or super dead, it is because, almost always, it's because I'm focused on the lack of something. So, when I say lack, I'm talking about, say you have a goal of, let's become XYZ person, or let's make let's make X dollars by XYZ date. If you start doubting that goal, like if you doubt that goal is going to happen and you start thinking about it, you're going to be focusing on the fact that it isn't going to happen rather than it is going to happen. When you start to focus on it isn't, that means lack. That is, you're focusing on the opposite of it happening. So the lack of it happening. And when I start thinking in that aspect, I can start to feel you just feel very drained rather than energized. When you're thinking of a goal that you do believe in and you're not doubting, you feel full of energy. You feel like you want to go take on the world. It's a raising element rather than a shrinking or a sucking of your energy element. Don't know what a better word of that is, but that type of feeling right there. So when you're in doubt, you've got to tackle that. It's important. And whether that's you framing things in a different way, or changing timelines, or taking productive action which changes the doubt most of the time, stuff like that. It's just important, because to get past that area, I don't understand how people operate in that area, and it's fucking exhausting. Holy fuck. Screen time. iOS 12 just came out this week, and inside of that is screen time, and that is a setting, or like a feature within inside of settings that dictates, or tracks rather, not dictates. It tracks all of your usage on your phone, and then you can check what the breakdown is and like what apps are using what, the categories in terms of time. Yeah, sorry, by the way, this is all time based, in case that wasn't clear, by screen time. But it's calculating how much you use your fucking phone and how much you use the apps inside of your phone. And I am embarrassed at how much I use Instagram. It is crazy how much of a default it is. If I just love Instagram. It's great. I love that place. Especially DM. Like, DM is my shit. It's very enjoyable. And I love stories as well, but more so creating them than consuming. But that place, or screen time, oh my god. It is really shining a light on how much time I waste. And it's got to be reduced badly. So, but I'm just glad for the clarity around it. I think I might have, I don't know if I talked about this last week, but it is very enlightening, to say the least. And I think you should definitely check it out for yourself, because it's fucking crazy how much time we spend on our phones. It's absolutely bananas. Oh, also, on that note of screen time, it is tough because, like, looking at your hours, you start to quantify, like, oh fuck, what if I was to take those hours I used on social media and allocate them to something more purposeful? And it's like, oh, could have made so much more progress in the week if I did that. So, but instead we choose to give it away to just fucking, it just vanishes that time. We give it to Instagram instead of giving it to our purpose or our goals or our vision or whatever. And yes, it is also important to socialize and keep up with people who you care about. And there's different ways of using Instagram, even especially because you can use it for business. So it's like hard to quantify those numbers as well when you're using it in that sense. But it's just something it's something that's definitely worth tracking and being cautious of, because it is just a lot of fucking time that you could be putting into better use. So I hope that you're using it in a business sense and not in a personal sense. When in doubt, sketch more UIs. So what the hell does that mean? Let me just cover UI for a second. UI, user interface equals the shit we see when we go on an app or a website. It's like the visual component of the website. So when I say that, I'm talking to the fact that when I do not have a clear idea or there's question marks in my idea around what I want to create, and this is just like the example, this is applicable to any area of idea generation, but when I don't know what I want to create, it is ideal to just create as much as possible or as many ideas as possible. So when I had lack of clarity around, for the example, the actions UI in card pop-up of lists, this is not the most complicated design ever, but I just didn't know what I wanted. So I had to experiment with multiple different ways. And the key thing here is like, I didn't stop when when I'm sketching, I'm not sitting there judging at the same time. And if I am, I catch myself and I'm like, no judgments right now. I'm just brainstorming. Like, I will draw out shitty designs and shitty ideas just to get them out of my head to make more room so that more ideas can flow. It just like, it keeps the flow going rather than stopping the flow and killing the momentum of the idea generation. Yeah, and if you can't come up with ideas, start looking at inspiration, aka start stealing from other people and then creating your own version of that, okay? That is like the best thing. If you can't come up with another idea, start stealing other people's ideas and improving them to create your own version of that. And then you can start to like make versions of like two things together, and then you can, so like a Frankenstein, and then you can also make Frankensteins of like multiple Frankensteins, or yours plus another version. There's so many different options you can do here, but at the end of the day, you're just trying to create more ideas and take the best one from the bunch, because now you have this huge array and list of all these potentials that you have more options to choose the best. So it just gives you better odds and ultimately the better idea, which is really cool. And that right there is applicable to any form of ideas. Like, it doesn't have to be about UI. It's just the act of getting multiple ideas out there and choosing the best one and not judging yourself for the idea at the time, or not judging the idea, just getting it all out and then choosing the best one. That is the magic right there. And I think you should apply that to every fucking area of your life. It is perfect. This is a little bit of a different lesson right here, but at Jaws the other day, I was going, like, I go so hard at raves. It's not even funny. Like, I just love dubstep. It is the greatest. And I guess I like other genres too, but just dubstep puts me on another fucking level. Is insane. But so like, the harder the music, probably the better. I just love that shit. So, but I go so hard that people think I'm really fucked on drugs because, and here's the sad part, it's because inside their mental reality, they cannot see themselves going so hard. They believe that in order to go so hard, you have to be on something else. So it cannot be a sober experience. And people get very confused when I tell them I'm sober after. Many times they don't even believe me because their reality is so set on the fact that, like, you cannot, it's almost like a belief that they have that you cannot have this much fun unless you are on some sort of drug or super drunk or whatever. And that sucks. Like, that really, really sucks. And I hope that they eventually break free of that shitty belief because, I mean, I think even Sam and Tay said, I am the most sober one there, yet you would think I'm the most fucked on a surface level. And that is the greatest compliment because I just fucking love music. I love dubstep. I love going so hard to it. It just takes me, it's the ultimate escapism for me right now. I fucking love it. And that show, by the way, was incredible. Jaws fucking crushed. But I already talked about this, so I'm not going to bring it up again. I've just had so much fun with that show. It's such a good time. Sketching UIs and brain dumping ideas. I loved working on the card pop-up this week. There was a lot of random little things that just, like, again, you probably won't appreciate them, but it's just like, I know what has gone into it. So that was, I'm not even sure if I'm obsessed with it, quote unquote, but I just had a really, really, really good time with working with the sketches and trying a bunch of different things, and all of the small little details that, again, you will not appreciate unless you're like actually building something like this, but it's little cool things that make all the difference in my type of world. So love it. Holy fuck, I think this was the shortest episode ever. I'm very intrigued to see what time this comes out to, but let me know what you thought. I appreciate you watching and listening however you consume this. And however, wherever you are right now, if you felt this deserved a like, give it a like. If you felt it deserved a dislike, give it a dislike. If you're on podcast, rate whatever you felt, if you feel like even going that far. I hope this brought you value in some aspect, and if it did, please do those things. Just send me a comment, a DM, follow me on social, all that good shit. I hope you have a phenomenal week. And as always, my name is Josh Moxey, and I will catch you later.